all, can a certain team slow down the other team and maybe expose their flaw? And look, I think it's easy to be gravitated towards Kentucky because they have like 3 lottery picks and they score 100 points regularly. And like, it's Coach Cal and it's Kentucky and it's so nice. I've been off this team for a while, and I imagine they will be bounced either in round 1 against Oakland, who can slow the game down, play in the half court, shoot a lot of threes. They're top 103 point rate. So if they're on from 3, they play a morphing zone defense. They switch their schemes up a lot and have a very strong veteran coach. So I can see Coach Cal getting undressed a bit during the course of the game, and Kentucky maybe falls behind and it's the same song and dance. But yeah, I mean, obviously the offense, I mean, listen, if they want to go on a run and score 100 points in 6 straight games and win the national championship, all the credit to them. But I'm just not going to be betting on that. To me, betting the tournament, it's kind of a science. And I think, I'm bet-sided every week at KenPom. I do like buckets of how I view the national championship picture. And I just set these parameters so I have an idea of who's balanced and who can handle the different compositions of teams you're going to face come March. Are you going to have a game where the offense is cold? Can you battle back and force turnovers to erase a 10-point deficit in the second half? Can you clean the glass against a weak defense? So I think it's good to be like inside that historical parameter because it shows that you can handle the ups and downs of a tournament run. Whereas Kentucky, they have one path to winning. Alabama only has one path to winning. It's, can you outscore your opponent? You can't bank on that for 6 for me to bet 30-1 where I could get a team like Auburn, for example, who I know is in UConn's region, but at a similar-ish price. But they're well balanced. They're top 10 they're top 15 on both sides of the ball. So to me, I can't get behind those teams, and I'm probably looking to fade those teams early and often.
We were just talking about how we all love Survivor this time of year. I know that's something that you partake in. Who do you have your eye on for tomorrow? And also, what's your overall Survivor strategy?
Yeah, regular contestant in the Joe Ostrowski Survivor pool, so happy to be part of it. I will say on Thursday, the first day of the tournament, I will be angling to take North Carolina, the 1 seed against Wagner. And I know that might be, I think that might sound a little nuts, but you look at the path for the Tar Heels. First, they're not the favorites to come out of their own region. Arizona is. So let's just get that out of the way. They are not the most likely team by the market to go to the Final Four. Also, they play Michigan State in that second game, the round of 32. They're going to be favored by less than 2 possessions. So immediately, I know everyone wants to take you want to feel confident, right? You want to take the team most likely to win by the betting market. Mm-hmm. North Carolina won't be that come Saturday in the round of 32. You will be looking for other options. So, you can hold North Carolina and think they go on a run, but the market's telling you that there's a decent chance, a plausible chance that this team's out in the round of 32. So I will be taking North Carolina. I have kind of staked my ground on Arizona getting over the hump. I like their path to at least make the Elite 8. I think that the bottom half of the bracket sets up a little bit more nicely for them than the top half of the bracket. Maybe famous last words, given what happened to against Princeton last year. But I like North Carolina, get them out of the way. I don't have to worry about it against an undersized 7-man rotation in Wagner, and I could just kind of, prepare for the rest while everyone else kind of tries to outsmart themselves, take a 3-point favorite because you're not going to need them later. I don't think you're going to need North Carolina later. So let's get it out of the way now.
I don't hate that. Reed Wallach of BetSided and the early read with us here on BetQL Daily, presented by BetMGM. But here's Rick Barnes in Tennessee, the 2 seed in the Midwest region. And Thursday night, they'll be in Charlotte. Final game of the night in Charlotte. Tip right around 9:20, 9:30 against the 15-seeded St. Peter's Peacocks, who are the second lowest scoring team in the tournament, the second worst field goal percentage in the tournament. The spread's 21.5. I'm not touching it, but I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see them cover it, Joe. I just question what Tennessee team we're going to get. This is a perfect opportunity for a tune-up. I'll give them that.
This St. Peter's team is awful. I mean, that's the difference. No, it is. I mean, this is not a couple of years ago. This is a team that's not even top 300 in offense or defense in the country. So the point spread has gone up a couple of points over the last couple of days, and I think for good reason. Sharp money's on Tennessee, and people that are willing to lay that number, and I'm there with them. It's probably the only game of tomorrow's slate where I would lay a monster number, but in this specific matchup, and people are going to fall in love that have not watched Dalton Connect. As exciting as he is to watch, just for that, I hope they do have some sort of a run in the tournament. But it is fun to root against Barnes and laugh when he loses every single time in glorious fashion. But as far as this game, yeah, give me Tennessee. Even at 21.5, I would lay that number. They're going to kill them.
It seems like they will. I mean, I'm with Joe. This isn't the Peacocks team that we saw a couple of years ago that was everyone's darling. This team does stink, and Dalton Connect, he's really good. We were just talking to Reed Wallach about it. Tennessee probably going to at least the Sweet 16. I'm sure they'll cover this big number, but I'm not going to bet on it. I'll pass.
Not to look too far ahead beyond Thursday, because I know we're previewing Thursday games specifically. Tennessee Creighton, if that's the Sweet 16 matchup, might be most difficult Sweet 16 matchup to handicap, in my opinion.
What's that number? That's going to be pretty short. Probably shorter than people expect. Yeah.
2.5?
Already.
1.5, 2.5?
It goes like that. Yeah, I think so too. A couple of metric darlings for the most part.
Yeah. Continuing down the road on Thursday to the final game in Pittsburgh on Thursday night, 9:40, 9:45 Eastern tip between NC State, the ACC tournament champions, the 11 seed in the South, against the 6th-seeded Texas Tech Red Raiders. Texas Tech, they've won 4 of their last 5, only loss to Houston. Okay, Big 12, they hung in there throughout the majority of the season. I don't know if Texas Tech does anything spectacularly well, though. NC State, great. Cinderella, darling, it's NC State, so you always love that angle. They lost their last 4 regular season games, limped into the ACC tournament in D.C., and then ripped off 5 in a row. I'm going to go Texas. It's 4.5, but I think I go Texas Tech here, just based on this is a team that's consistently done it throughout the regular season, in so much as they've survived the Big 12, Joe, whereas NC State, wildly inconsistent. It's great that they were hot in the ACC tournament. I don't know if that continues into the big dance.
Crazy, because as many teams that are in it, they had to win 5 straight games, and they did it. They took out the 2 favorites, Duke and North Carolina, by themselves. And it's also funny that, between that Duke-North Carolina game, it was the team that was embarrassing themselves on national TV last night. It was Virginia pushed to overtime against Virginia. When it's a down conference, and they were below 500 in conference play, in a pretty poor conference, and then they go on this run. Good job out of them. But when I see spots like this, like nobody was even talking about NC State possibly winning that conference tournament. They were 100-1, and there's nobody out there that was talking about that. And I understand why when you looked at their performance in the regular season. Give me Texas Tech. That's just an auto fade spot for me, a team that most people felt not very good in the larger sample, and then things went their way. They got this hot streak. They're riding that high. Now they come back down. Are they going to be able to rise above and get to that level again in a neutral site game against a team that's playing Big 12 basketball every night? I don't think so. Give me Texas Tech.